Hello and welcome to the Lincolnshire Buzzcast, a podcast where we take a real-life humorous look at life in Lincolnshire, as well as interview some amazing people who are doing some fantastic things in the county. I'm Lizzie.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Hannah.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Lincolnshire Buzzcast. Today we want to talk to you a little bit about lockdown, and as it's finishing and we're getting to the end of our government roadmap and things are starting to open up again slowly. We want to have a bit of a chat today about lessons we've learned from this year in lockdown, but with a positive spin. We by no means don't want to trivialise what's happened in the past. It's been a difficult time for everyone, but we think it's quite important, especially for the purpose of this episode, to focus on some of the good things that we've learned, some good stuff that we're going to keep going forward. So with that in mind, how are we all this week?
Super.
Yep.
Super. That's very chipper of you, Hannah. Why are you so happy?
Well, I don't know, actually. I think I'm happy, but I'm sad at the same time. Like, I know that we're getting released back into the world one step at a time, but I'm sort of sad that some things are coming to an, like, you know, the community spirit and stuff's coming to an end. Like, I've driven to work twice this week, and twice about 8 people have overtaken me and been like honking their horns, and it's like all that's come back, and that didn't exist when we were all community spirit and everybody looking out for each other and stuff. And it's almost like people have forgotten. So I'm happy that we're getting the release, but I'm a little bit sad that we're reverting back to old ways so soon.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It has been an interesting time, I think, for communities everywhere. There's been people have got to know their neighbours again, which is really nice. I've moved in the lockdown, but I remember I saw more of my neighbours than I did in several different years in the old house. And, we've lived together on a little terrace street, actually. So we're all quite smushed in together, but I didn't know who anyone was. And it was just nice to sort of get to know people that you've been living around this entire time. What about you, Danny?
I'm really good, actually. I'm all right today. It's been good. But yeah, on that subject of neighbours, I actually just spoke to
Go on, what have you given your neighbour this time? Not a garlic crusher. What else have you been ordering?
No, but the garlic crusher I think was a huge hit. I'll have you know. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you obviously you live relatively close to each other? Do you get this waft of garlic through every so often? Do you know what he's cooking with it?
To be fair, I do know what he's cooked a lot of the time, as he probably does with me. So if he cooks fish, I know that. If he cooks fish, that's always one where I know what's going on there. But anyway, on the subject of neighbours, so I realised that during one of the lockdowns last year, I met one of my neighbours on one of the times where I accidentally locked myself out of my house, and
one of many.
and I completely made up the fact that he was a sound engineer. So I went away. Thinking that he was a sound engineer. I've literally just spoke to him this evening, and he was like, "Oh, you're Danny. You're such and such, and you do this." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." I was like, "You're Jack, aren't you?" And I was like, "You're a sound engineer, aren't you?" And he went, "No, I spray paint things."
Oh man! And I bet he got you bang on right, didn't he? As well.
Yeah,
so
he did. He nailed it. He nailed it. He's like, "You work at the football club, don't you? You're a football coach." I was like, "Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, that's exactly it." And then I was like, "You're a sound engineer, aren't you?" No, I spray paint things.
So basically, you've been having conversations the whole time, and he's been listening, and you've been like, "No, your job's boring. I'm going to make up something more exciting. You're a spy who's a sound engineer."
Oh,
you win your own play.
I mentioned that he was a sound engineer to somebody that also knows him, I think.
And they've just been nodding and agreeing, I don't know what this guy's on about.
I don't really know.
I don't think he's a sound engineer.
Maybe he's just been telling everyone that he's a sound engineer. During lockdown, though, I actually had the really nice thing that happened with one of my neighbours where they were having one of those, I think loads of people did, didn't they, where they have those yard sales. I don't know why I'm saying yard sale, because that sounds American, but whatever we call it.
It is American. Garden, what is it called?
Floggy.
Tabletop sale?
What?
Yeah,
Tabletop sale? Jesus, all right, Downton Abbey. Tabletop sale?
I don't think they had a tabletop sale in Downton Abbey.
Jesus, what were you saying
It's
at
a
this
garage
tabletop?
sale. It's a garage sale.
No,
Garage sale.
Is that what it is? Okay, yeah, but anyway, they had it, and
what
they
is
had some really cool things, but they just had a huge vinyl collection, and that was when I got to know them and started talking to them, and that's when I think I suggested that my neighbour was a sound engineer, and he's not to them.
Do you know a sound engineer? Have you just mixed him up with someone? Or have you just literally made this up?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't even really know what a sound engineer is. I mean, I'd imagine that they engineer sound, like they manipulate sounds.
It tends to be in you tend to find them in a recording studio or a radio station or I'm technically a sound engineer for this podcast. If you want to,
well, you're technically a marketing manager, but
Yeah, I just don't know very lot about it. It would appear it would appear Twitter stories happened months ago, and I'm just learning about it today. So
fleeting music.
Yeah.
So yeah, that ruins my credentials. So I guess my question for you guys is this, because we went through, in fact, the whole world, it was very interesting, went through different phases of things that they wanted to do. There was a thing when banana bread was really popular. We were all doing quizzes, and then we all individually did a few things as well. But my question is, does any of this stick? Have you done anything? Have you taken up anything in lockdown that you are going to carry on doing? Danny, you first.
So I became a vegetarian. I started eating a lot of different... Why you're sniggering at that?
Oat milk.
Yeah.
Can your neighbour smell when you make things out of oat milk?
Which, by the way, KP did not get and brought me normal milk.
Of course you didn't. Listeners, Danny in the chat after our podcast record last time put on our work group chat. Can someone bring in some oat milk? But spelt it the oat way that we had named our podcast after. I gave a little chuckle because I knew what he was doing. But also inside my brain, I thought no one's going to get that. He's going to get. I bet he gets actual normal milk. And it turns out you did.
Yeah, but I was like, and obviously I did the polite thing of going, thanks, KP, and then going, oh, looks like I'm having black coffee and black tea all afternoon then. Cheers. That serves me right for trying to be funny, but yeah. So yeah,
because you're not Yorkshire, it don't work.
That's what it is. Oh, to be fair, oat is not exclusive to Yorkshire. Oat's a Nottingham thing as well.
I've said oat.
But you're part Yorkshire. You're part Yorkshire. You're a little bit Yorkshire, aren't you? You're a bit diluted.
We've had this before, and I don't think we've actually discussed it, which we should have done for said Lincolnshire Buzzcast. But North Lincolnshire, I feel like I need to. North Lincolnshire is where I'm from, but it is the lost land of Lincolnshire because Lincolnshire doesn't appear to want it.
Don't try and break away now. Don't try and...
Well, we had broken away. We were South Humberside, and we were perfectly happy like that. But then we got added into Lincolnshire, which is fine. I like being North Lincolnshire as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But every person I speak to who's from, what do you call it, Greater Lincolnshire or is North Lincolnshire? I don't know. Any other Lincolnshire person who's not from North Lincolnshire sneers at North Lincolnshire for some reason. It's like they don't want us. But like we were with South Humberside, so we were with East Yorkshire, they were all sort of together. But Yorkshire doesn't want us either. So North Lincolnshire is some sort of no man's land that nobody really wants. But maybe we don't want you. We're pretty good. I feel like we should be independent.
Why is this podcast turned into this really divisive...
Wow. It literally is. It gets me really annoyed. Come on, Lincolnshire.
We want you,
North
Lizi.
Lincolnshire's got a lot to offer. Yeah. We've got Brig. It's an old historic place. I mean, I know Scunthorpe's a bit dicey. It's got a bit of bad rep, but
Are you allowed to say that? I'm not sure about that. But okay. Jeez,
it was on that programme that didn't do it any favours. But actually, if you're in Scunthorpe, it's all right. Actually, it's actually quite a nice place to be. You don't trust see everything you see on the
Everybody
TV.
From a dodgy area says it's actually an all right place to be. Like nobody who lives currently in a place says that it's anything less than that. Anyway. So
in with North Lincolnshire, yes. North East Lincolnshire comes with us as well. Grimsby, Cleethorpes, that kind of stuff.
Woo. Anyway,
I take this land for my own.
back to the question. I assume you take carrying on vegetarianism, which is good because one more for the gang.
Yeah, one more for the gang. Yeah, I quite like that. Definitely made me a better cook. And then the other thing would be, it's just like getting out in the outdoors way more often. Like definitely, and appreciating what is closer than what I thought it was in the Peak District and stuff like that. But also stuff in Lincolnshire and definitely that. So like food, the vegetarian thing, and getting outside and appreciating what's close by for me. What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think getting back to nature, really enjoyed just going for a walk. I am so sorry if you can hear this, but my rat has just decided to have a drink, and it's like she hasn't had a drink for about 1,000 years. And all you can...
I wonder what that noise was.
Yeah, I so apologise if there's a ticking. She does it every night. Every night you put the telly on and she's like, watching telly, are you? I'm going to have a drink all the way through the programme. So I am so sorry.
Have you not given her any water? Like
she's
all
had
day?
water the whole day, but she's just woken up because rats are nocturnal little creatures. She's woken up and gone, morning everyone. It's drink time. So, Ivy, shut up. Honestly, she is named Ivy after Poison Ivy, for those of you who are DC fans.
I wasn't sure where the ivy came from.
Yes, she's called Ivy Lillian because she's named after Poison Ivy.
You got your allotment in lockdown, didn't you? Did you get your allotment in lockdown?
Yeah, we got our allotment. We've kind of always done bits of gardening and sowing seeds and stuff like that, but sort of taking it to the extreme with the allotment. And I think just I'm going to set Danny off now because the thing that I want to take forward is, this is going to sound really cheesy, but the rapport and relationship that we've now got with our students, because we all thought, and I think there'll be lots of teachers out there that thought that virtual learning was going to ruin the relationship with their students and things like that, and actually it made the students realise that we're real people. You know when you're in secondary school and you have that, oh my god, I've just seen my teacher in Tesco and stuff. It's like teachers are like these weird cyborgs that don't have lives and stuff. And I think the students realise that we are normal people and we do have normal lives, and they do ask now, like, how's Dexter the dog and stuff, and we all talk about our pets quite openly. And just having that relationship with the students has really grown and flourished, and I think that's really going to help us sort of develop our students because we've got a really good relationship. And from that, I just want to tell you a bit of a funny story based on a hamster.
No way.
And this is how comfortable my students now are with me, that I think most people out there know that it's now centre assessed grades and it's all done on the teachers are assessing the students and stuff. But back then we didn't know if the students needed to provide a lot of information and it were going to get verified and people were going to check up on all this evidence and all that stuff. So one student came to me at the end of a virtual session and she said, Hanna, can I show you my hamster? Yeah. And she went, yeah, so I'm really, really worried. I just want to tell you that I have done my work. I have genuinely done my work, but if it gets verified or anything, can you back me and tell the verifier that I've done the work? And I was like, well, no, because I haven't seen the work. She went, oh, I'll show you the work. I'm just going to show you my hamster. This is my hamster. And this is my work. And when she showed me the work, the hamster had eaten the work and made a bed out of it. She was like, so can you just back me up that I did do the work, but my hamster ate my homework? You know when you can't laugh because you're trying to be professional, but in the back of my head I was just like, oh my god, the hamster has eaten her homework. How on earth am I going to justify this one? So yeah, I think the relationship with students, definitely want to keep that growing, definitely want to keep taking that forward.
Absolutely.
My hamster's eaten my homework.
It's like a dog ate my homework is got bored and tired now, so we're adding new animals to the scope.
Yeah, as people are getting more and more exotic pets. Like my gecko ate my memory stick.
Yeah. That's what it's going to be in future.
Hilarious. I think.
So what would you keep, Lizzie?
I don't know. I was trying to think about it the other day, knowing that we were talking about this, and I've had quite a fleeting lockdown. I think because
of course you have.
Because I've taken up stuff that I desperately wanted to keep, but then like things have happened. Like obviously when I was on furlough, I started doing loads of other different things, and then going back to work full time. I just haven't had time to keep it up. So I started trying to going back and trying to learn French again, or redoing French, which I loved and haven't done since for quite a while, which I actually feel quite sad about. I do need to try and be a bit more strict and make time to do it, because I actually did genuinely enjoy learning French again. And I had all these dreams to learn the banjo thing that I've got, and not banjo, it's a different instrument.
Ukulele.
See, I don't even know what instrument I have. It's been that long since I picked it up. But I had all these whole dreams that I was going to be really good at ukulele, and I learned one George Ezra song, and I was like, yes, nailed that, and I haven't picked up again since, and I probably couldn't remember how to play the George Ezra song either, because it's been too long. So yeah, best laid plans and all. But I think for me, what I've got out of it mainly is, even though, you know, I'm back working full time and stuff like that, the commute is no longer there, because I'm still working from home, and plans are in the future that not everyone does need to be in the office, because workplaces everywhere have decided that not everyone, you know, people can work from home, and sometimes it is actually more cost effective for the organisation not to have a whole staff team in, and you know, it's the same everywhere, so that, you know, it's looking possibly like I'm not going to have to continually work in the office. So for me, that's given me back a lot more work-life balance, I think, because I'm not wasting that, you know, hour in, hour back, depending on traffic and stuff. I've got basically 2 hours of my life released back to me, and it's to spend with the kids, which is amazing. And I think another thing as well, and it's probably similar to your community spirit stuff, is I've had conversation stuff with colleagues that I've sort of worried a little bit that, you know, the pandemic has actually pushed staff teams apart because they've all been working remotely, things like that. I think I would argue exactly the opposite. I think in some cases it's pulled us closer together. I think we've all been through something. Like, we have all been through something together, and I think even though we might not have been together like face to face, I think we've probably had more in-depth chats like by a virtual mean. I actually feel much closer to everyone than I ever did. And I think it's, you know, maybe being exactly the opposite. I think we've all been through something, and even though we're coming out of it, we'll remember this time. We absolutely will do, and it'll get less and less. You know, it seems like forever, but, you know, eventually it'll just be that year. Like, you know, that things were a bit weird, and as life goes on, but we all still remember it. Like, the kids will remember it for different things. I actually read something quite nice the other day that actually for adults it's been quite stressful thinking about home learning and all this, but actually from a kid's perspective, they've had like this wonderful time where like parents have been around more, and they've been less stressed about getting in and back to work, and they've done things from home, and because they haven't been able to go out there and do stuff, and basically go to a play centre and be like, play centre entertaining my child, like, you know, we've had to do that again, and sort of remember how to parent again, almost. I feel like I've done, because, you know, I've had to rely less on outside means, or, you know, popping them over to grandma's or anything like that, and actually had to be creative and make fun inside. We had a bit of camping picnic in the living room one time, and we put like little sheets up, and we all camped in the thing and watched all the Toy Stories all day, and ate lots of food and things like that. And like, we probably wouldn't have had time to do that in normal time, but because, you know, I was on furlough, my husband wasn't at work, we've done lots of other stuff. We did. So for the kids, they'll remember it differently, and they'll remember it's been like a magical time where they've actually had their parents back again. So yeah, I think for me, I'm going to try and keep a little bit of that going forward.
Definitely. I think for lots of people, it's made them look, without sounding too deep, it's made them look introspectively. So looking at themselves clearly, and having the time to do it. For lots of people, obviously some of us have worked really, really hard throughout all of it, and still lots of people have done. But everybody's had the challenges, but everyone's had the chance to look introspectively, but also look at the relationships with the people around them, probably to look at which ones are the worthwhile ones, like, you know, those people that really stayed together and made the effort. I know that it's been really difficult, and sometimes people not talking, you know, there's reasons for that, but yeah, I think that it's made you look at the quality of relationships more.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think I've got friends that I think I've become more close to, and friends that I've drifted apart from, and it's definitely. I think as a parent, it's quite difficult because you're always fleeting between. Am I being a good parent? Am I being a bad parent? I never think I'm a good parent, and I don't think any parent out there thinks that they're absolutely nailing it. It's just an emotional roller coaster. But I think, you know, I freely admit that, you know, sometimes I'm looking forward to spending some time away from my family as well. And I don't think that does make me a bad parent to say that. Like, I love my kids to pieces, but, you know, I haven't had that time apart from them either. I've got stuff that I usually do that I haven't been able to do all. So I do amateur dramatics, and that's sort of my night. I go away and do that kind of thing, and release some creativity in that way. And I've not been able to do that. You know, I go and have a swim sometimes by myself. I haven't been able to do that. So like, we've spent an awful lot of time together, and we've done all right, I think, actually, in the circumstance. No, we've not wanted to like kill each other too much, but like, I am looking forward to some time away, and I think for them as well, it's good for them to have some time away from their parents as well. So I don't think it makes me a bad parent to say I actually am looking forward to not being in the same house as them at some point as well. But yeah, it's tricky, and I think, you know, I think it has. You're right. It's we've come together relationship wise in loads of different ways. You know, partners everywhere. I know people that have broken up. I know people that have got stronger together. It's just, I think we're all different people coming on the other side of this.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's a shame as well that it's taken a lockdown and something so extreme for us to realise this, and for us to value those relationships, friendships, and things like that. Like, I think back in first lockdown, when we're all going crazy for Zoom calls and Zoom quizzes and stuff.
Oh, seems so far away now, doesn't it?
I know, that distant memory. Like, it took that to get me and my family sort of back together. Like, we're sort of spread all over sort of Yorkshire and Lincolnshire, and it took something so catastrophic as this lockdown and this pandemic to get us all back together and get us. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, my cousins, my sister, and everyone like that, we know that we're just a phone call away, and if any of us ever needed anything, we would just genuinely pick up the phone and ring each other. But it took a lockdown for my cousins, who I used to spend pretty much every weekend with, because they're quite close to my age. You know, it took a lockdown for us to get together and talk on a regular basis again. And I think coming out of it, the other side now, we're going to make sure that we do stay in regular contact, and that we do. And I cannot wait for the day when we can finally all meet up, have a big family barbecue, big shindig, all get together, and it's going to be fantastic. And like, that is sort of like the reach, the carrot at the end of the stick for me, is that, do you know what? We want to get back to those times when we were 10-year-old and we used to spend every weekend together. I mean, I don't want to spend every weekend with them. God, I'm not dobbing them into that. But but just to be in regular contact with each other, because life happens. And I think the lockdown has allowed us to go, whoa, stop, let's just reflect, and let's just see what matters, rather than life taking over, going at 100 miles an hour and life passing you by. And that's, you know, a bit cheesy and a bit deep, but I can't believe that it's taken a pandemic for some of us to realise what's going on. And I think a lot of people will probably feel that.
No, it's true.
Yeah, time doesn't slow for anyone, does it? I know that does sound really cheesy, but it doesn't slow for anyone. And it really, hopefully, really does show people that, you know, there's things out there that you want to do, you've got to go and do them. Like, yeah, anything could happen. So yeah, which does sound really cheesy, but it's so true, isn't it? So I'm finding over the past whatever amount of time, as I'm getting a little bit older, I guess, that oftentimes the things that people say the most that when you're younger, you neglect and go, well, that sounds like too simple an answer. They're the truth. So when I ask people, like, in the industry, like, you know, what separates this person from this person, they say hard work. I can remember being younger and just being like, no, it's got to be more complex than that. There's got to be like some sort of secret ingredient that I don't know. like genuinely, and but now as older, as an older adult, well, as a young adult still, but as an adult and much more mature, like, I think actually, you know what, like, life is really short, isn't it? Like, it is really short, which is one of the beauties of it. Like, it's finite, and we've got to make sure that we make the most of it, which sounds so cheesy, but it's so true, isn't it? So true.
Oh, it is, yeah. I think it is. It's we all get muddled up in the rat race, as they say, and it's just too hard we forget sometimes what's important. I think it was anyone else who went on furlough will know, like, it was a tricky time being on furlough, and I think one of the trickier parts of it was when work is taken away. Like, what do you do? Like, I was suddenly left with, well, I've literally given every mile a minute to work. Like, what's left when I'm not doing that? Like, and it was just a bit of a self rediscovery, I think, at that point. It was just a bit like, what do I do with all this time? Like, and yeah, I think it was actually quite nice to do. I feel like I know me better.
Good. Well, so I've got a question off the back of that. What was not necessarily your light bulb moment, but what was sort of a prominent time that got you through it? Because we've all had low days, we've all had down days. Did you have a light bulb moment? Did you have a realization moment? Did you have something that got you through it? What was the thing that you went to get you through it? Or
I think for me, I think it was teaching my son. I think it generally was like, and I know people have had different experiences and stuff with homeschooling. Mine's slightly different because my 13-year-old daughter very much looked after herself. There wasn't really much I could do with it. I got to help her with French because I was learning French, and that's the only thing she let me help her with. The rest of it she really wanted to do herself. But my son, obviously, he was in foundation when we went into the first lockdown, and he had to be taught. And first lockdown as well, the schools hadn't really got to grips with how things were happening, so we got a few things through, but not very much. So I pretty much made his whole schedule, like, this is how what I think he should learn. And we went out and we learned about plants, and we did other bits, and I fully integrated myself in Read Write Ink. I know so much about it, it's unreal. But actually, now I think about it, I was thinking I should know that much about it as his parent, to help him with his home learning, but I just never had the time to do that. But that light bulb moment for me was just sharing those moments with them, where I got to teach them stuff, and we went out and had fun, and I saw them learn things. I think for me that was my light bulb moment, because I was just a bit this is what I should have been doing. All that time that I've been running back from work and I didn't have time to do their reading with them or whatever like that. I got really annoyed with myself. I was thinking, why didn't I make time? This is important. Why wasn't this my priority? So I think that was my light bulb moment, which is odd to say that I had to take a light bulb moment to realise that my kids were my priority. But sometimes you just need a bit of a switch.
Yeah. Danny, did you have a light bulb moment or something that twigged?
I don't know. I didn't have a light bulb moment. I find it really hard at times. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking all the way through what Lizi was saying. I didn't really have a light bulb moment. I had, I guess, moments where sometimes it was an affirmation of something that I already knew and that I'd perhaps forgotten, or allowed myself to forget, or even sometimes things that I said to other people but I couldn't take my own advice. And I think there were moments where it was like, no, if you really believe it, you've got to do it yourself and show it yourself. So yeah, which sounds really vague, but I think it was important. I think without sharing too much, I think showing that it's all right to be vulnerable to other people who you want to share things with you because you care about them and you want them to know. I've got younger siblings, but also for lots of people in my family, I'm one of the more mature ones, and even though there's people older than me, it tends to be me that people will come to talk to, and I like that because I like trying to help people, but I didn't necessarily do that myself. So I think that was probably a big thing for me. Big thing for me.
Sort of a self-discovery journey for you.
What about you, Hanna?
See, I've been thinking about this one. When you first said to me, right, we're going to do this sort of reflective lockdown review, I thought, well, it's got to be about these light bulb moments. I thought, when on earth did I have one? And I think it were in first lockdown that I realised how much waste we produce, and I made a conscious, like I've always been sort of conscientious with not using a lot of single-use plastics and things, and just realising from being at home how much waste we produce, and realising I need to make more of a conscious effort to not use single-use plastics, to not just throw things away, to make my own compost and stuff like that. So yeah, made that change, and that's again something that I'm going to sort of keep up with and keep progressing with. But the one thing that got me through, and this is the second lockdown, and I wish Iona would have spoken up earlier with her interesting eating habits.
That's a certain way to describe it.
It is, isn't it? So for those listeners that have been with us all the way, you'll remember, oh God, episode 1, episode 2, when Iona was talking about, what were it? Kale jazzes things up a bit. And that food tastes different outdoors. So I put it to the test. And I thought, because I partially agreed with Iona that food tastes different, or it tastes better when you're outside, like eating al fresco just makes the environment better.
Is that what al fresco means?
Eating outside
What
and
did you
enjoying
think
the environment.
I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't know what I thought al fresco was Italian.
Oh, well, you've learned something today. Can I have my pasta cooked al fresco, please?
No, honestly, I thought it was Italian. I thought it was like an Italian phrase for.
I mean, I hope I've got it right. I've always thought that's what it meant.
I don't know, or garlic in it or something. I don't know. I just thought it was like, oh, we'll make that al fresco, and I was like, all right, okay, we'll make that al fresco.
So, well, you've got to listen to my very scientific experiment that I've been doing since Iona disclosed to us that she's got weird eating habits. So I can confirm that if you go outside, a Mars bar does not taste any different, and kale doesn't taste any different. Everything tastes the same. You don't eat kale and it turns into a Mars bar. So I can confirm that doesn't.
That'd be really good
happen.
for a diet, wouldn't it?
It would. But and I've done extensive testing every lunchtime that I've been at home. I've done extensive testing on this, that if you eat things in different orders, even if it's the same meal. So here we go, Lizzie. This is going to set you off. The scone debate.
Oh, you mean how you're wrong about it? Okay.
Scone debate.
So jam and cream, cream and jam. So I have cut a scone in half, and I have done jam and cream and jam. And they taste completely different.
Yeah, because everyone knows it's jam and cream. Like, that's just how it's done.
How does it taste completely different?
Honestly,
is this the placebo effect? And is it because you think it tastes different that it tastes different?
No.
How do you know that? You're gonna have to
I'm going to say, if you put cream then jam, you probably have more cream than you usually would the other way around.
Oh, quantities, yeah.
So I think it's quantity-wise, because I think, for me, it's a nice layer of jam and then a dollop of cream in the middle, whereas like you cream in the bottom quite a lot, and I think you then have less jam. So I think it's a quantity thing is why it's different.
Good theory.
Let's not say the wrong way around to put cream first, because you can't spread jam on top of cream.
Shush, it's not. Okay. So my theory was that it depends, because then the different topping or different food is going in your mouth and hitting your taste buds at a different time. Mm-hmm. So if you add jam on top, obviously the sweetness of the jam is what you would taste first, whereas if you have cream on top, it's the sort of creaminess of the cream that you taste. That's a technical term.
The creaminess. The creaminess of the cream.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good job you're not doing recent English, isn't it? Like the creaminess of the cream. Yeah, can you describe creamy to me? Yeah, so like the creaminess of the cream. No, that's not how it works.
Just keep saying cream in different formats. It's creamier,
creamy cream.
The creme de la creme.
Cream is the creme de la creme.
So that is what's kept me sane every
Don't know if it's
every
kept you sane
lunchtime.
after that reasoning.
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
Honestly,
I think we've got evidence as to otherwise. I actually think it's sent. I think it's sent you the other way.
Honestly, because I had a cheese and ham sandwich, and it tastes different if you have cheese and ham or ham and cheese. If you go to any takeaway restaurant and you turn the burger or whatever upside down, it tastes different. Honestly, Iona would back me on this.
I don't know, because
Of course she would. She's a weirdo as well.
And on that note, shall we hear what the students have to say?
Hello and welcome back to the buzzcast, to the teen talking part of the buzzcast. We're actually going to go straight into the topic of, as it's coming up to Easter on this Sunday.
Yep, that's right.
Actually, I mean, I doubt I'll have any, but chocolate.
Chocolate. We're going to talk about chocolate.
But we're going to have a little debate. The debate is, so we've got two, what is it? You've got Galaxy and then there's Cadbury.
Dairy milk. Yeah, Cadbury. Yeah.
Which one is the better one?
Cadbury's all the way. Literally every single day of the week. There is no part of me that says Galaxy at all.
But it all just depends on the initial flavour.
Yeah.
You've got caramel. Galaxy caramel just hits different.
Galaxy caramel beats Dairy milk caramel.
Did Dairy Milk even do one?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They do, because they have the caramel eggs as well, don't they? They do have a caramel bar.
Do they?
Yeah. Galaxy beats Dairy Milk's caramel. Dairy Milk's superior in every other way, in my opinion.
You know what? Yeah, I can back that. But they always let down on the Easter eggs. I've not had one Easter egg that they all taste the same to me.
Oh, Easter egg chocolate tastes so much better than normal chocolate. There's something about it being in a circle that means that it's about 1,000,000 times more. It's 1,000,000 times better. I will stand by that, for sure. That Easter eggs are 10 times nicer than a bar of chocolate. I don't know what they do to them. They add I don't know what do they add to them to make it more Eastery, but they're so good.
I don't know, but it's the same with Christmas calendar chocolate.
Oh yeah, because that is the cheapest. That's the cheapest chocolate going, but it tastes so good.
It tastes so good, but I don't get what they do to it.
I don't know, because you could go to the corner shop and buy literally. You go to the corner shop and buy some 20p chocolate. It's not the same, but
it's not. But as soon as you get one out of the calendar, you get for God knows how much. But I tell you what, I was at Tesco, big Tesco.
Yeah, big Tesco.
A month ago, and they already had them out.
Really? Yeah, they've had them out for ages. They wait, don't they? Literally, as soon as Christmas is gone, it's woo, get the Easter eggs out.
But I just don't get that. I don't. Why?
Because everyone will buy them, and then people going to school and stuff. If it's near a school, then you can buy an Easter egg in the morning. Not that I condone that, but I know people do. People buy them. People don't just eat them on Easter.
Yeah, if you only eat Easter eggs on Easter, then you're a weirdo.
Yeah, exactly. That's no offense to anyone that just eats Easter eggs on Easter. We have utmost respect for you, because that kind of person has boundaries and morals.
But do you want to know what the worst chocolate is? I hate it. People that listen make this Smarties.
What?
Smarties are the worst thing. No,
that's really upset me. Smarties are so nice. I love Smarties so much.
Oh, that was close to me, sorry, Anna. But that is just they're disgusting.
How can they be disgusting? Please tell me what's disgusting about them, because they're the most inoffensive chocolate.
It's just everything about them, and you're gonna hate for this, but mini eggs.
Mini eggs are even better.
No, disgusting.
Do you just not like stuff with shells? Do you like minstrels?
Not really.
I think that's where your problem lies. I think you don't like the shellness, because they are all immaculate chocolate.
Well, I don't know. Like, what's your favourite? You have to go into a shop. You have to pick 3 chocolates.
Right. Crunchy.
Right. Already off to a bad start.
No, crunchies are amazing. This is going to be something that sounds like such an old person, actually. Crunchy, Cadbury's, you know, they're like Marvelous Creations things, and they've got like the...
It's got like all the weird stuff in.
Popping candy one.
Yeah.
That one, that's so nice. And I'm like an old person. I love Bourneville. Dark chocolate. It's love my life.
I swear that's bougie.
That's like, it's not posh though, like, it's the same price.
You're
but
bougie.
I love dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate, that chocolate. That dark chocolate does hit different to it.
Mm-hmm. Go on, what's your... Pick 3 chocolates, go.
I didn't actually think about this. After Eights is one.
Oh, that's an old man chocolate, sorry.
I'm offended.
Are you going into a shop and getting...
Yeah.
When you said that, I was expecting, like, you know, when you go to a corner shop and there's like the thing of like chocolate stuff to pick from, right?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing After Eights on that shelf. I mean, go for it, you pick that, but I'm not seeing After Eights.
After Eights is on that shelf.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Like, that stuff is just too good. And then, After Eights, double deckers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lindor.
Lindor's nice for the first one.
Wait, no, I'm lying to you. Lindor, no, Terry Chocolate Orange.
Oh, I forgot chocolate oranges existed. They're the top of my list every single day of the
But
week.
they ruined it with the white one.
I've not tried it.
Disgusting behaviour.
I can demolish a dark chocolate one and I can demolish a normal one easy. That's like my weakness. But I've never had the white chocolate one.
White chocolate, we're going to have a review. We've got to do
I think we should do a live review.
Move on to Easter break. What's your plans on the Easter break for these 2 weeks as a student?
As a student, do I give the right answer here? Go, I'll catch up on lots of work and...
we could give the right answer and Hannah could be really happy with us and everything, but we'll tell the truth.
Right, okay, so we're doing the... I'm helping out at the holiday club, so that's like, 3 days, which will be cool, because that'll be coaching experience, which I'm excited about. What else? There's not much on. It's pandemic thing. It's kind of made it a little bit flat.
Yeah.
But, you can meet people now though. Outside.
Up to 6 people outside, yeah.
Which is brilliant. I think I've never done picnics. I don't think I've ever had a picnic before, but I feel a picnic coming on.
I've never had a picnic with friends.
That's what I mean. I fancy a picnic with friends.
I mean, I don't think I'd have a picnic with friends. I mean, I don't think...
Picnic with the boys.
You know how we go. Too cool. We'll move on to the next topic and try and keep on topic. The actual, so outdoor sports coming back.
This was amazing. I'm so excited about this. This has basically put everything, it's made life not, about a million times less boring. So we've got football training back. Finally, I can coach again, which means my under-12's back. Finally, I can ref again, which means that I've got money. It's only positives happening here. I'm so excited. I don't know about you.
Yeah, but no. So I can start training again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll cycle with my friend.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to commit to. I've got absolutely nothing.
See, you're going to be buzzing when the gyms reopen.
Exactly. But that's...
Only 2 more weeks.
Is it?
Yeah, it is 2 weeks yesterday, so you've got 13 more days to wait.
Is that it?
That is it.
I'm so
and
excited.
That's gone quite quick, because I swear ages ago, not that long ago, it felt like a long, long time. You only got 13 days left to wait. You already know I've got countdowns, by the way. I've got countdowns on my phone for every single new thing that's coming out of lockdown.
I'm going to have to. I'm so excited for.
Go on.
A haircut. that is what I'm excited for.
You amongst 90% of the male population in the UK currently.
I know, but I tell you what, lockdown's done bits because I've now got a new hairstyle.
Exactly. You can experiment.
Like I used to have such short hair. I had a really long fringe, went really short, and then now my hair's kind of grown back a bit curly-ish. So
see, that's a win. So positives come out of lockdown. See, we're just such a positive part of the podcast.
Thank you for listening, and from me, we'll see you. When's the next podcast out? Next Sunday?
Sunday.
I'll see you next Sunday.
So a question that I wanted to ask was, I wanted to ask two. One of the questions was,
he's always got to have an extra one.
What's your best nostalgic rediscovery? Because so many people during the past 12 months looked back and went through things, didn't they, in their house, or they got things out that they never, they hadn't got out for a really long time. Like, what's your favourite nostalgic rediscovery? So it can't be something that you never knew about before. It has to be something that you once appreciated and you found a newfound.
I've got two, but I think one you'll love. The first one was Audible, because I'd listened to Audible and stuff before, but I found a real passion for listening to audiobooks again. That one's sort of standard. Yeah. My second one is Star Wars, which is why I said you'd love it.
Yes.
Just because I never watched Star Wars with everyone else. I hadn't watched it until just before my son was born, so about 5-6 years ago. Because I'd never watched it. We'd watched clippets of it in school, which is why I didn't want to watch it all, because I'd been forced to watch it at school and I didn't really like it. And the bits I'd been forced to watch were the bits with Jar Jar Binks, and he's terrible. So that was my, first foray into Star Wars. And my husband, and which I'm sure you'd agree with him, Danny, said that before I birth his son, I should understand this franchise, so I could pass it on. So
it should be government law, to be honest. I know we're not allowed to talk about politics, but I actually think that this is a useful point to come in and just say that should be.
So he made me watch it with him, and we watched it in. There was some debate of what order I should watch it in, but we watched it in original release. I think how it was originally released.
Yeah, that's the right order. That is the right order.
Which was fine, and I watched it. And it was all right. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And I watched it. I was like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought. It was all right. But then in the lockdown, we went about. So with my daughter, we thought she should watch different films. So we redid Marvel. We did Marvel chronologically properly, and then we did Star Wars. But we decided to watch it the other way around and actually do it chronologically. And actually gave a interesting, because most people know that, sorry if this is a spoiler, turn off now if you've not listened to Star Wars and you know nothing about it. But most people know that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad. Like, they just know.
What?
Even when I watched it and hadn't seen it before, I knew that reveal was happening. So you don't really need to watch it in release order to get that wow moment, because I knew it was coming anyway. However, watching Lydia watch it chronologically, so she'd already seen Anakin do that whole thing in be his dad and stuff like that. But her wow moment was when he turned into Darth Vader, because she wasn't expecting him to turn into Darth Vader.
Wow,
so she was like, when he did the thing and put the mask on, and she was like, oh, Anakin's Darth Vader. And that was her wow moment. I was like, wow, that's not a wow that I was expecting.
Wow. To be fair, that is exactly what George Lucas probably would have hoped for, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So she wasn't expecting. So and I actually enjoyed it more chronologically, I think, and I actually really, really liked it then. And then the kids all really liked it, and everyone got lightsabers for Christmas and had a little battle, and it was all kinds of fun. And yeah, I'm into Star Wars more than I was before now. And then Mandalorian was a thing, so that helped. But
you've suddenly gone well up in my book beforehand. I was a bit.
Oasis is like my favourite band. I love vinyl. Now, you're just the male version of me, but younger and much more athletically fitter than I am.
and better on social media.
That's just your youth.
That's not what it is. But
yeah.
So that was a two, wasn't it? So Star Wars
and Audible.
What about you, Hannah?
Well, you know my affinity for Baywatch. I rediscovered Baywatch
I always get weirded out every time you tell me. Every time you say it.
I forget that you're a Baywatch person, and then you say it again, and I'm like,
I'm that person. Yeah. So that sort of got me through the days of marking and stuff like that. When obviously I was the only one in the department, and it was when everybody were on furlough during first lockdown. That kind of stuff just sort of got me through the day. Sort of felt like I had somebody to chat to, listening to David Hasselhoff and Pammy Anderson. So yeah, it sort of just gave me a bit of light relief when there were a lot going on. I rediscovered Baywatch, and I also got my flute out.
Don't, Danny.
I was waiting for it.
You did on purpose.
I did do that, but I did rediscover. When I was a kid, I used to play flute, and for my birthday, my other half bought me a new flute, and I get my flute out on a regular basis.
Do you know what I we'll skip past that. You know what instrument I really want to learn, and I still really want to learn, and one day I will own this instrument and learn it, but I would like to learn the saxophone, because out of all instruments, that's a sex instrument, right? You're cool when you play the saxophone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, in my head, does anybody watch Simpsons?
Yes, saxophone. I think that in my head, yeah. Don't you worry about that. My head is going, as soon as I own a saxophone, the first thing I will play on it is saxophone.
Yeah.
What about you, Daniel? What did you rediscover?
It's a good one, actually.
It's your question. To answer your own question. It's a good question, Lizzie. I don't know if you thought of it.
Thing is, I actually forgot that I asked it. It was like, I was like, that's a good question. I was even tempted to go, wish I'd asked that one.
This is what's got me through lockdown, guys. You too.
I think rediscovering. I think certain music for me. I think rediscovering certain music. Some certain music that I loved once upon a time, and then maybe grew out of, and re-listen, but properly having the time to listen, and yeah, especially with exercising, as much as what I did last year. Especially when the first lockdown came out, I just used to put music on, and it was like, oh my days, like, yeah, it made you feel like, I don't know about you guys, but certain music and smells and things like that, they take me back to a certain time. So Lynx Africa, as soon as I smell Lynx Africa, it makes me think of being a teenager. Like, makes me think of being a...
Now I've got that. There's a smell that I associate with an attractive man smell. Because it reminds me of when I was younger, and there was a guy that I used to fancy, and he used to smell like it. So whenever I smell that smell, it's an attractive man smell to me, because only attractive men wear it, and it's Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Of course it is. Of course it's JP.
Oh, Jean-Paul. But yeah.
I actually bought my husband it once. I was like, wear this.
What she didn't tell him was that she actually emptied all of his other ones and then just poured that into it. He's there like, no, I'm not going to wear that. I'm going to have my Dolce & Gabbana. And he's there like...
No, smells do. There's obviously a lot of things that key memories and stuff like that. And when I got married, I got told that you should get a brand new perfume that you've never worn before, that you only wear on that you wear for the first time on that day. So every time you smell that smell, it'll remind you of your wedding day. Aww. So I did. So I got a
That's
new...
a great wedding gift.
That's
a great wedding gift, by the way.
Both me, we'd have to give it before the wedding. That's the only problem, because obviously you have to wear it beforehand. But yeah, me and Johnny went perfume shopping before we got married, just so we could do that.
Johnny went perfume shopping as well?
Yeah, for his.
Oh, so you didn't let him have JP then?
I'm going to say, I thought you shopped for him. But yeah, anyway, my second question.
Oh yeah,
was about music, because all three of us love music. So, what was your favourite lockdown listen? You didn't have to come out in lockdown, but maybe perhaps something that you listen to. It can be audible as well. To be fair, it can be audible as well because.
Well, we all together in Audible hugely discovered together, which was a beautiful bonding moment for us all. I feel, but we all discovered Stephen Fry's reading of the Greek mythology series. I've just finished Troy. Actually, I did it in a day. Like I've been waiting for a while to watch it. I actually literally did it in a day. I didn't ignore my children all there. Stephen Fry was talking, and. It was just beautiful. But yeah, we all did that. And I think Stephen Fry maybe is my lockdown voice, actually, because I listened to all the mythology thing. I went back and listened to him read Sherlock Holmes. Like, I just, I think he might be my lockdown voice. Other than that, my son loves AC/DC, so we've been listening to a lot of AC/DC during lockdown.
Classic.
An interesting mix there, Stephen Fry and AC/DC. But
But I feel like they get along well. I feel like they get along.
I feel like they would do. Stephen Fry is definitely in my dinner party, but he's in all of our dinner parties, isn't he? Let's be honest.
No, I'm not going to say that. Hanna, what about you?
See, my feel good and comfort song has always been Africa by Toto.
I did not expect that. Did you know that Weezer did a remix of that?
Well, that is just not acceptable.
Was it good?
Yeah.
No. Honestly, it was good. Genuinely, it was good. Radio X played it a couple of years back. Am I allowed to say that? I'm saying it. It was really good. Both of you. After this, I'll send it to you and I'll put it on our group chat and I'll send it across to you.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. You can't murder a classic.
Now, Danny, this was your question. Let's be clear. This was your question. I'm just re-asking it back to you. What was your song that got you through?
You see, you say that, but I had to look. I was like, what does she mean? It was like, yeah, because I've literally put as my last question. What was your favourite lockdown listen? But you already know that because you're asking me it back. Yeah, I think I loved Blossoms. They released an album called In Isolation, and it's such a cool album because it was a mixture of their own takes on certain songs. They had a couple of collaborations with other artists, and then it was some of their own songs. And yeah, it's just a great album, and the vinyl's amazing. One's baby blue and one's baby pink. They just look so good.
Wow.
Nice. Well, before we wrap up, I want to talk just quickly about exercise because obviously for a lot of people, lockdown brought exercise because obviously we got to have our 1 hour of allotted time and loads of people took up running. People did more walking everywhere. I did more walking than running. I am not a runner at all. In the slightest, I don't usually like running at all. I'm a swimmer. As we've spoken about in many other podcasts. But I decided the other week, in fact, a few weeks ago, that I was going to try and do that Couch to 5K thing because I don't know how long it's going to be till I get back in the pool. I'm horrifically unfit from being in lockdown and not moving from this chair and working all the time. And I need to, just for my own health, I need to get fitter. So I decided to do that. I got new shoes. I got a sports bra. I got some sports leggings with pockets in, so I can put my phone in there. Got all excited about it and went out yesterday for my first Couch to 5K. And I've been do you know what? I've had all this stuff and I keep putting it off and off and off, just because I just couldn't find the motivation. I thought the shoes would give me the motivation and it didn't, because I wanted to do it at night where not many people could see me because I'm not very good at running. So I wanted to do it when it was dark so I could do it under the cover of darkness. But by the time it gets dark,
right, Batman.
if only I ran as cool as Batman.
Can you please
But unfortunately, because it's, getting lighter evenings, it gets dark now. And obviously by the time it's 9 o'clock, I'm like, I have settled in for that. I cannot be able to go out and run. So it kept getting put off. So my motivation, and this is how I did it, was, and you'll laugh, but in the morning yesterday, I put the sports bra on and then I thought, I don't want to take this off at night and have lied to the sports bra that I didn't do any exercise in it. Like, I feel like so I put it on with the best of intentions, but I couldn't face taking it off at night, having lied to it.
Like that,
we didn't do anything. So I sat down after work and I was like, no, I owe it to the sports bra. I need to start doing it. it's weird, but that was just my motivation. So I did it, and then I realised I could have Sarah Milliken as my running coach. I quite liked that, so I got excited about that. I put everything on. I put all my new stuff on, and I felt all good about it. And I went out in my new shoes. And if anyone's done a couch to 5K, they'll know that you originally do. It starts off with a 5-minute brisk walk, and I was walking in my new running shoes, and the running shoes are very bouncy, and I was like, I feel really good. This is well easy. Like, I feel like the shoes will bounce me into the run and I don't really have to do anything. Like, this is, la, 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 like bouncing around. Like, this is much fine. Oh, my days, it's not that easy. After about 5-minute brisk run, and then you do like 60-second run and then 90 seconds brisk walk. I tell you, and you do that 7 times over. But I tell you, from about 5 runs onwards, that brisk walk suddenly got a lot slower. Like, it stopped being so brisk.
Trudge.
Because I was going. I could actually hear myself wheezing. I should have brought my nail.
That's good though, and that is good though. And any progress is progress. I think that's the most important thing to learn. I think and appreciate is that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And for anyone I can't imagine there's anyone out there that's unfitter than I am. So for anyone who's thinking like how horrific it'll be, and I am good because you're supposed to do three in the week. So I'm going to go out and do it tomorrow and stuff as well, and try and keep to it. But I think having done it and got out there and just tried the first one, and even though it was hard, I finished it. So in my head now, I'm thinking, well, it's not going to get harder than that because you only get fitter the more you do. So like, if that was the hardest, and it was hard, I'm not trivializing it, it was hard, that, and I could actually do it, then, the only way is up, surely. I mean, the shoes won't bounce you, so don't let anyone have that lie. The shoes don't do it for you. You do have to run, it turns out.
Go gadget. Go gadget running shoes.
I got some good sound, I got some good music in the background that helped. I had a bit of Foo Fighters when I ran. That was quite nice. That's a good band to run to. But yeah, I got through it. But now I've conned Hanna into having to do it as well because I don't like to suffer alone. Yes. So I've forced you to do it. And you've done it today, haven't you, Hanna?
I have. This is why I'm sat here in my pajamas while we're recording this, because I was fearful that if I sat down for too long, I wouldn't be able to move afterwards. So thanks.
But let's give it. I don't know how long it takes you, but let's a couple of months we'll be like some sort of lean.
Yeah, you'll be doing
really fit.
You'll be doing the half marathon with me.
I think 5Ks and half marathons quite a leap.
Yeah. I am not built for it. One of my friends once said to me, because we did the. Do you remember the fun run that you could do for breast cancer? The pretty mudder, that one.
Yeah.
We did that, and that was 5K, and it's got obstacles in it. And thought, because it's got obstacles in it, it's not continuous running. And I said to her, I was like, I am not built for running. And she went, no, I'm built for Netflix. Which is, it has stuck in my head.
But I'm going to give this running like a try as well.
I think I'm definitely going to keep going with the swimming rather than the running, though. I think I will do the running. I will do it alongside.
Hanna, you're doing the All Crown round.
It's not running, mate. It's walking.
No, but trust me, it's going to be. I was nearly going to swear then. It'll be honestly that'll be really hard.
I know it will.
Really
I know,
hard.
and I'm going to do the swimming is to get me a lot fitter.
The swimming one.
The
swimming,
swim
around the All Crown
wild
round?
swimming is to get me fitter, and I'm going to try and do the running stuff alongside. I'm going to be a triathlete before end of this.
Well, to be fair, you've already done 2/3 of it today, haven't you?
Yeah.
What you need to do is you need to bike to the open water, get in there, do a few laps of that, and then run home. And
Wow, that'd be quite turn up for the books, wouldn't it? What have you learned in lockdowns? Well, I started off being a Netflix person, and now I'm a triathlete.
No, I'm definitely not professing to do that because I honestly, Lizi, I nearly died today, so I feel your pain.
On the subject of exercise, I just want to take this opportunity to tell everyone a little bit about a exercise challenge that we launched at the Lincoln City Foundation. We don't like to promote a lot of the stuff that we're doing at the foundation through this podcast, because that's not really what the podcast is about. But this is something special. So A Walk in the Park was launched on Friday, and it's a virtual fundraising challenge. And the premise is so simple. You literally walk from a park to another park of your choice. So that can be a really local park. Maybe your mobility is not great, and actually walking just 30 minutes is a huge deal for you. And that's amazing. So that can be your walk. If you want to challenge yourself and go even further and walk 10 miles, then separate your parks out. Your parks can be play parks, national parks, any park that you want. You can do it with some small children and do lots of them over the month of May, or you can do it all in one sitting. It's a very inclusive challenge, so you can literally be creative enough as what you would like to do. All the money raised for this challenge goes towards Lincoln City Foundation's Teen Talk project, which is our mental health project. So it supports men around Lincolnshire. If you manage to raise £100, then you bag yourself one of our exciting and beautiful wooden A Walk in the Park medals. So if you want to sign up for that challenge, if you want to know anything else about it, then please go to www.lincolncityfoundation.com/A Walk in the Park.
So I hope this has been a really positive listen for everybody, because as Lizzie said at the beginning, it's not something that we take light of. It was an event that's hopefully brought us all together in lots of different ways. So we can all see the things that we have in common. And we hope that you enjoyed listening. And we look forward to our next podcast in a couple of weeks' time.